Yo, what do they call me? They call me Devin Zoolander. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah, they call me Devin Zoolander. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I look good on camera. You know I look good on camera. Yo, what's up? It's your homie, Devin Zoolander, coming all the way live from my domicile. And today, I am extremely excited because I have the privilege of interviewing one of the coolest people that I know on Instagram, the owner of IEatClean Meal Prep, also a fitness enthusiast, someone who appears to be a serial entrepreneur that's just looking for any opportunity to capitalize and open a business, which I 100% support.
Thank you.
Please put your hands together for the wonderful Monique Walker.
Hey guys, how you doing?
I'm sure they doing all right, but we ain't got no audience right now, so you know what I'm saying? You got to use your imagination. But anyway, how are you?
I'm excellent. I'm highly grateful right now at this point.
Yeah.
Just for everything that I have going on right now, especially with business and even just personally. It's all elevation from here, and I'm just hoping that my business just exceeds my expectations, which are already pretty high. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like reaching for the stars when you're already in the sky type of thing.
Right. But I'm glad that you continue to be ambitious, and I like your mindset because, I'm kind of joking around about the serial entrepreneur thing, but I also, in all seriousness, I recognize your hustle, and I see that you're seeing opportunities. You see an opportunity to give back to your home city. You see opportunities to be bi-coastal and to establish yourself on the West Coast. So I 100% salute you.
Thank you. Yeah, my vision for it is pretty huge, and I know it takes a lot of steps. A lot of people always want to focus on the end result, and I'm like, there's a million little things I have to do to build up to those bigger platforms, especially even relocating to the West Coast and still trying to keep a location here. It's like I'm going to have to build a team. I'm going to have to make sure that I have people that are reliable because I'm not going to be here. And we already know people aren't exactly reliable,
right?
Unless it's strictly beneficial to them. So
yeah.
Right now at this point, it's about me finding out what I need to do to get people to realize that my business is beneficial, not even just for them personally, but for just in general, for the general population, because health is important.
Absolutely, health is definitely important. I'm glad that you're in this field. We need to see more of us in this field.
We do. There's not a lot.
Right.
Actually, to my knowledge, I think there's another black-owned meal prep company, but I think they're more out towards Coraopolis area, and they service like something that's outside of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So to my knowledge, unless somebody has other information, I've looked at my competitors, and to my knowledge, none of them are of ethnic background at all.
Right.
I am the only ethnic meal prep company to my knowledge in Pittsburgh, which is kind of like, a little disheartening because, I would hope that, our communities would be more privy to being into this field.
And we're back. So
you were talking about the fellowship.
Yes, thank you very much. So, I did a fellowship at Pitt. It was called the Heinz Fellows Program, and it was essentially about I shouldn't say black because they let white people in.
I've heard of it, though.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Heinz Fellows Program, we worked at Malines University Prep. That was a middle school / high school we worked at. And one of the projects that we were concerned about is like how the Hill District is considered a food desert.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why I'm thinking of this is I'm thinking about the correlation between there being so many food deserts in black communities, combined with the fact that you're the only black or ethnic clean meal prep person in the area. So I was just wondering if you've ever thought about that, about how lack of resources might contribute to the lack of
definitely,
market.
Most certainly. We are already in a city that is not predominantly black. Statistically, I think we're around 8% of the population here as the black community, which is not a lot. And unfortunately, it's not a city built for us anymore. Even the Hill District, I'm glad you brought that up personally, used to be all black community. And we like to think that it is, but it's nothing like what it was. It was almost like a Black Wall Street at one point in time. It was a strip of black businesses. Restaurants were there, everything. And the fact that that has been targeted for regentrification in our communities, and they're not providing resources or restaurants that are for us. They're not providing homes and living for us. It's for the people they want to move in. So they don't care to service us. They don't care that our food choices are unhealthy. They don't care that our businesses only do well, unfortunately, if they're in our communities with cheaper rent, because we can't get out of that. And even I'm facing that issue right now where I'm trying to find affordable rent. It has to be in the city of Pittsburgh, and it has to be a certain amount of time that I need per week. Even though it's not a lot of time, it's hard to find this. I can easily find something cheap in the middle of the black community, you know what I mean? Because it's cheaper rent, it's a cheaper area. Nobody really comes there or wants to come there for a restaurant or business unless it's like, you know, you get your local supporters. But I want that walk by, you know what I mean, business. And you don't get that in our communities. It's not built for business, unfortunately. So there is a big disparity, I will say, in what we're able to get access to eat, and unfortunately it's not cleaner choices. Like when I'm in Cali and I'm looking at all the choices, and I'm on DoorDash and I'm on Grubhub, and there's literally so many choices. There's at least 30 to 80 different choices for just the healthy food icon alone. And I click here in Pittsburgh and I might get one or two, and they're really not even that healthy. They're serving me salad and fruit, and they're calling that health. That's not nutritionalizing me on a daily basis for what I need to do.
And then to build on what you're saying as far as not being able to attract the same foot traffic as you would in communities that are a little bit more affluent. Like, I noticed that because if you go through and so I wasn't born and raised in Pittsburgh. I was born and raised in Philly, but I came here about 12 years ago. So I've been here a significant amount of time.
So you've watched the city change a lot in the past, especially in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Ever since Luke Ravenstall said, hey, I'm going to change this over the next 10 years.
Right. So I've definitely noticed some changes, and particularly like with East Liberty. And like, because I remember all of the controversy surrounding the Target being put in the community, and how
it's sad what's happened to East Liberty, unfortunately, to me. As great as it is to see it reflourished, it was taken from our community, if you ask me. But that's a personal opinion.
No, I hear you, because
because I look around and there's all the black businesses are gone except for Jamil's. Sorry, Jamil's. They were trying. I heard through the grapevine they were trying to get them out of there and bribe them and pay them all this money to get out of there. And it's like, no, I'm so glad that they stuck to that. No, I'm not selling. I'm not getting out. I'm not leaving. Like, you're gonna have to deal with my presence here because we were here first. And unfortunately, that's not the same attitude for black businesses in our community. We sell out a lot. We're moved around a lot. Rents increase, so we have less opportunity to build our businesses, even food businesses in general.
Have you seen the movie Barbershop?
Yes.
Right. So it kind of reminds me. I believe it was the first one where they were trying to, or it might have been the second one. I forget. You know, Cube makes so many movies. But it might have been. It was one of them where I think it was this politician. Or no, it was like this black guy, but he, I guess, was part of a big conglomerate or something like that.
Yeah, and he bought the block.
Yeah, and he was trying to get Cube to move out too by saying like, yo, I know that your dad had this shot back in the 60s during the civil rights era, but if I give you a nice little sum, then will you take it? And Cube was like, no, I'm not doing that. So to bring it back to the reason why I even thought about East Liberty is because now when I'm looking at, we got a Chula barbecue for Indian barbecue there. We got a honey grow. We got the milkshake factory.
You have everything over there.
Yeah,
now. It's so congested.
And we have and there's a clean juice place as well. And when I think about all that stuff, that's like you have all these different choices within walking distance of each other. But then if you go to a place like Homewood, I feel bad sometimes because I know about so many different black-owned businesses that are opening up there, but I feel like, unfortunately, because Homewood is so barren as far as resources, the only thing that can really survive is like that Schuman's that's on the corner of Frankstown and Homewood, because what do they serve? They're like, I don't want to misrepresent the races, but Middle Eastern or Arab.
Yeah, they're not black owned.
No,
they're ethnically owned, but they're not black owned.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's another thing. Other ethnicities will come into our communities and open these businesses to prey on what we really need in our lack of convenience, because we can't leave our areas sometimes. We have parents that don't drive. We have kids that walk around the neighborhood, and it's like, you know, not everybody leaves their neighborhood on a daily basis. So coming in there and putting up hair shops that aren't black owned, putting up, like you said, Schumann Market that's not black owned, putting up all these non-black owned businesses by other ethnicities is not making our community or our people any more wealthier.
And to build on what you're saying, like I know that your specialty is clean meal prep, but even let's just for a second, let's put that aside and let's just think about soul food and what it means to us.
Right.
Like historically, now it's so bad that you can have like a Jamaican restaurant that can be down the street that might do well and hopefully it survives.
Right.
But then you can have these people that aren't black at all, but they cater to us by cooking soul food.
Right.
Like when you think of like Hook and Fish and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it's like they'll eat forever because they know that, you know, we'll always default to like fried fish or whatever.
Right. Exactly. I definitely agree. And you see that a lot. I remember when Hooks first came,
Yeah.
and I was just like, everybody was making a big deal about how great it was. And personally, I'm not a fried chicken person.
Okay.
Never really have been. I like my chicken thighs, and they don't got to be fried. Like, you know.
Gotcha.
So, personally, when it comes to fried chicken, like, everybody made a big deal about Hooks when it first came here.
Yeah.
And then when I found out that they weren't black owned, I was really disappointed that everybody was like so gung ho to go support them, and it was all the black community screaming about how great Hooks is, and I'm like, but.
Yeah.
That's funny that we don't support our businesses like that and rave about them and recommend them and scream at the top of lungs how great they are and
Right.
support them regularly throughout the week. It's not like, oh, you just go to Hooks every once in a while. It's not a big deal. It's like, no,
Right.
you're there like every other day type thing, or every
Right.
few days you're at Hooks because you have a craving for it.
Right.
And they're making a lot of money off it. That's why they got, 3-4 locations
Yeah.
in the past, 8 years?
But yeah.
It's a lot.
Off the top of my head, I know that's the computer. Duh. Should turn my notifications on. But anyway, no, you're absolutely right about that, because I know just where we're at right now, like we got one in Penn Hills. I know we got one in Homewood.
Yeah,
That's right at
and
the
they're gonna
edge.
keep growing, and they're gonna keep
I know
growing.
about the one in Homestead. Like you could just keep going. Like
They're gonna keep going.
North Versailles. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
And then it's weird because then if technically I got confused because Wilkinsburg has like Al's Hook and Fish. It's something different, but it's the same.
It's the
shit.
same
It's the
idea, just
same
different
shit.
people.
Yeah.
Same idea, and that's another thing with Wilkinsburg. Even with them, the city of Pittsburgh was giving out all these crazy grant loans in the past 2 years to rejuvenate Wilkinsburg, but we know that's just a fancy word for regentrificate. Regentrificate. Excuse me.
I got you.
So when I'm sitting here watching Wilkinsburg and I'm looking at all the storefronts, people just see the bottom part. People don't see that they've been remodeling every single thing up top of every one of those businesses on Penn Avenue for the past year. They are going to literally make Wilkinsburg the new shady side, east upper side is what they're starting to quote call it. I know Swissvale and Braddock and Rankin are going to become called the East Shore. There's signs all over my neighborhood now that they put up in the past when they got that grant money in the fall time at the end of last summer. They got like a big grant for Swissvale Borough, and they started doing all these random aesthetics in my community, such as like all of a sudden we have brick crosswalks.
What's your community?
Swissvale Borough.
Swissvale Borough.
Yeah,
Okay,
and this
I got
was
you.
almost a predominantly black area at one
Yeah.
point in time. And in recent years, especially like I said, the past year they've increased taxes ×2. I know because I see the homeowner taxes, and then like I said, there's just random aesthetics that they're putting in that are, if you ask me, kind of useless compared to the fact that there's still abandoned homes all over Swissvale.
Right.
And you guys are more concerned with putting in brick crosswalks and repainting lines and doing all this fancy stuff to make the neighborhood look better as you guys increase rent, push us out, and then move other businesses into Swissvale, which has a bunch of storefronts that are empty as well. So it's all going to be tied together because East Liberty and Shadyside is just too congested, and they're branching out from that. Same thing with Edgewood. It's too congested. So what do? Move over to the next area.
Right, because those areas are oversaturated.
And all they want to do is just push black communities further and further out to the outskirts, where there's lack of transportation, there's lack of food, there's lack of, like you said, just resources in general. And me having a clean meal prep business, unfortunately, my demographic is not black. It's just not. It's not from the black community. A majority of my clientele is other ethnicities that aren't black. And that, unfortunately, that's a little disheartening for me, because unfortunately they can't always afford healthy food. Even if I try to make it affordable, there's only so much I can do.
Right, you still got to make money. And
Yeah.
I understand that, because...
Or at least break even.
Yeah.
It's like to the point where people are trying to like haggle you down, and you're like, I can't control the cost of food. I'm not a farmer.
Right.
I don't go and fish myself.
Right,
You know, and
right,
if this was back in the day, great. You know, you could haggle me down on prices, but now it's like food costs are at an all-time high, to the point where I've watched salmon increase $2 a pound in bulk prices since November. That's a huge increase.
Yeah.
On just one product alone.
Yeah.
Let alone shrimp went over the pandemic from $55 to now it's like $83 a case.
So now that you started to bring up a little bit, touch on your menu a little bit, I would like for you to just give us a synopsis of what foods are we talking about. Are we talking about chicken, fish,
We're talking
rice?
about just anything that's going to be a complex food in general. I try to use cleaner, leaner proteins. I try to stray away from beef. I do not use any pork at all. You cannot pay me enough money. Okay. I do not cook pork. I will not cook pork, and I do not recommend it.
So no chitlins coming out of IEatClean.
No. Unfortunately, I have a Southern background and family, and I grew up on pork. I haven't had beef, pork, or lamb in the past 10 years. My waistline and my health graciously thanks me, I should say. And I notice the way that I feel, even digestively and differently, even a short time after I quit those products, those heavier products that take longer to digest. What we don't want to do is give our body food that it has problems recognizing, metabolizing, and trying to get rid of, or even just break down for its own resources. And when we eat these foods with all these man-made GMO ingredients, when we use all the pasteurized cheeses, when we use all these crazy different butters and unnatural oils like canola and things like that, and then we wonder why our body's stuck trying to hold on to these things, because it's stuck in the body. It doesn't know where to put it, so it's going to store it somewhere. It doesn't even know how to get rid of it waste-wise. And even with beef, we know that it takes 30 days to process that digestively through your entire intestines. And if you keep eating beef all month, how are you ever going to clean out your intestines?
Yeah.
Then we end up with, that I like to call it the man pregnant stomach.
Yes.
Where some men get really, really thick, especially as they get older. And usually it's just a digestive thing. It's usually you just need a colon cleanse. You need to lay off the beef. Like, your body's not metabolizing these things like it used to in your youth.
Right.
And you're not that young anymore. So, it's also as just being aware that as we get older, our body requires different things, and we should be paying attention to that.
Absolutely. Now, I have to take a quick sidebar, because when you started talking about like man pregnant and stuff, that made me think about Will Smith, how he recently put out his
dad bod.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, when I look at Will, I almost wonder, was he on steroids or something? Because to let himself go, like, because
he's always been in shape. He's always been in so much shape. Like, I think.
Right, but and I guess more recently, he's usually covered up. Or if you look at the famous entanglement Red Table Talk discussion with Jada, he's wearing a long sleeve shirt.
But he's always been on the thinner side all of his life, like the slimmer side, I should say.
And that's why,
of his height.
Right, and not to get all in his business, like I'm acting like I know him or he gonna see this, but I just think about he might, yeah. But I'm just thinking, it just seems like the way he looks like to fall off like that. It looks like. I wonder if he was on. Maybe steroids.
He might have been, because celebrities, they take a lot of different things, and they have a lot of movie roles that they got to prepare for. There are a lot of different drugs that you can take to look the way that they look in a little bit of time. It's not impossible. We have bodybuilders that do all kinds of different hormones and steroids to create different looks, so it's not impossible. And when I say the male pregnant stomach, I don't mean just like, oh, you just got a little belly or whatever. I'm talking about like
I know what you mean.
that hard stomach,
Right, protruding, yeah.
It's like hard, it's firm, it's like you're not fat, but you have this
Yeah.
stomach that almost resembles a beer gut, but you don't
Where
drink
your
the
shirt
beer.
is just like,
It's
yeah,
tight.
yeah.
The stomach's tight. The abdominals are tight, and it's not because it's actual fat that we're grabbing onto. It's just you're so congested almost.
Because to take what you're saying and put it in my brain, because I'm not the expert, but just making it all work. Because flab is something that we can understand. Because as human beings, like even those of us that work out, like you can have a bad.
Everybody has flab when they sit down. Everybody. I don't care how much shape you are in. Unless you're about to walk on stage for a bodybuilding show, you have flab.
Right.
Your body's not going to let you stay in super low body fat percents for long.
But flab is different from man pregnant. Man pregnant is some other stuff.
It's different.
I got you.
We'll leave it though.
Right. Skinny fat. But anyway, yeah, I was just thinking about that because I see him floating himself, and I'm sure he'll get back in shape.
I love the body positivity. Yeah. I love that he's challenging himself, and that's what it should be about. People should be just take your health seriously and take it one day at a time. So many people try to just do everything at once and pull everything together in a short amount of time, and it's like it takes years to create the body you want. And you should be more concerned with the lifestyle that it's going to build for you and the character it's going to build for you than to be concerned with how many calories you're burning, because the body doesn't care about calories. It cares about nutrition. It cares about doing its job internally. So you can do a million things on the outside and think you're smarter than your body, but you're not. The body is smarter than you.
So I would like for you to touch on the difference between lifting, looking like you're in tremendous shape, but still putting the wrong things in your body, and people falsely believing that this person is the epitome of health because they have big muscles.
So you might have been talking about me right quick. So about 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago, probably because I didn't start bodybuilding until summer 2019.
Yeah.
So it's been a couple years since I've truly made the nutritional commitment that needs to be made so that you can have the body inside that matches the outside. And even outside, I didn't have the body that I thought I had. I thought I looked great. I thought I was in great shape. But it's like you have a bunch of fat that's on top of the muscle you're building. So it didn't matter that I went to the gym 5 days a week. Didn't matter that I was at the gym doing cardio every single morning. And it didn't matter that I would eat cleaner ingredients. So I would think that because I eat turkey and I'm eating 2 turkey burgers at a time that I'm eating clean. Like, no, I'm overloading my body with this surplus of calories, and it's going to take longer for it to break that down, as opposed to when I started eating smaller meals, my body could burn that efficiently in a short amount of time so that you're hungrier throughout the day. That's because your meals are smaller. Your body's going to be like, okay, you're going to consistently feed me every few hours, so I'm going to burn this. And even trying to jumpstart some of my training clients. So I do training and I do meal outlines. And I tell people, I'm like, this only works if you do. These are tools. Cardio, food, and lifting go hand in hand. It's a triangle. You cannot have 2 sides and think you're going to complete the triangle without the third one. Unfortunately, this is just, it's simple. It's not even simple math. It's just basic math. It's nutrition plus fitness equals your results, So when I tell people, like, the body's smarter than you, it means that it doesn't matter that I'm in a deficit all the time or that I'm going to be on a diet Monday through Friday. As soon as Friday comes, what do people do? Like, their week will start off Monday. They're on, we'll give ballpark numbers, a 1,700 calorie diet Monday through Thursday. Friday comes, it's the weekend, you get off of work, you go for after work drinks, you're drinking your calories, okay?
Yeah.
Then, so you're already surplusing calories on Friday. Saturday, you wake up, you go for whatever you're doing for the day, you're out and about, you eat, you have a dinner date or whatever, you're just out enjoying your day, you grab Chick-fil-A for the day, later you got dinner at Capitol Grill, alright, you're already in a surplus again. Then Sunday comes. It's Sunday Fun Day. Okay, everybody loves Sunday Fun Day. So you have Sunday Fun Day, and then you're really drinking. You're binge drinking now. You're having brunch. You're going to eat probably some greasy pizza to sober up later at some point in the day, or tacos. And then you're in this giant surplus for 3 days straight now. And then guess what people want to do first thing Monday morning? I'm going to cut it all the way down to 1,000 or 1,200 or 1,400 calories because I feel so guilty about all the stuff I did for the past 3 days. and you think your body's going to continue to burn Monday through the next Thursday, you're crazy. Your body thinks you're insane and it doesn't trust you, and it's going to tell you that by not giving you the results you want. So you can work as hard as you want in the gym, but if you don't supplement that food that your body wants and needs, and the right amount is crucial too for your results, because if not, you'll sit on a plateau if you're under eating. You can't lose or gain sitting on a plateau. So food-wise, when I tell people like macro balance is really important, understanding macro balance is really important, or what macros are in general, is the first step to getting a hold of your nutrition and understanding your nutritional needs, understanding what complex foods are, what lean meats are. And it's not, oh, because I got some lean beef that it's lean. No, everybody knows turkey, chicken, seafood, those are going to be leaner options. And even seafood, like I tend to lean away from shellfish because they're high in sodium.